Hello friends, in this lecture we will discuss two-dimensional array. Under this heading we will see what is the definition of two-dimensional array. Then how two-dimensional arrays are declared, accessing array elements, array initialization and some example programs we will discuss today. Two-dimensional array. An array of two dimensions is known as two-dimensional array or 2D array. It has two subscripts or index numbers that are needed to specify a particular element of an array. Conceptually, it can be thought of as a table, also matrix, where elements are stored in rows and columns. The following figure illustrates the two-dimensional array. So this diagram is an example of how two-dimensional arrays, how the data are in two-dimensional arrays are arranged. Our definition of two-dimensional arrays. Every element in array A is identified by an element name of the form Aij, where I and j are the subscripts that uniquely identify each element in A. So in the present two-dimensional array, number of rows are 3s and number of columns are 4. So using 3 rows and 4 columns, 12 data are arranged. And we also see that in each element is uniquely identified by their row number and column number. So A00, here in A00, this is the first element of two-dimensional array. 0, first 0 is the row number and second 0 is the column number. So A first row number and first column number is identified as a first element. In a similar way, first row and second column refers to the second element. Similarly, last element is identified by third row number and fourth column number A, 2, 3. So we use two subscripts or index number to refer each element of two-dimensional array. 2D array can be defined as an array of arrays. The total number of elements in a 2D array is row multiplied by the column number, row number multiplied by the column number. The 2D array, the declaration of 2D dimensional array. So this is very much similar to the declaration of one-dimensional array. The only difference is that instead of one subscript number here, we also as data array arranged in the rows number and column, rows and column. So here number of rows and columns are displayed. So data type, array name, then in square brackets number of rows and number of columns, and at the end semicolon. For example, int A34 semicolon. So this statement declares two-dimensional array. Its name is A and it can store 3 into 4, 12 integer data. This array can store 3 into 4 equals 12 elements or 12 integer data. As shown below, This 2D array can be visualized as a matrix of 3 rows and 4 columns like this one. So this array is data of array A is arranged in terms of rows and columns, and each element is uniquely referred as a row number and column number. That is, 2D array has 2 index number. A00 refers to the first value, A01 row 0 column 1. This refers to the second value, A02. This refers to the third value, and A23. This is the last value of the two-dimensional array A. If it is tried to access an element beyond valid row and column, C computer will not display any kind of error message. Instead, a garbage value will be printed. A04 first row, fifth column. A garbage value will be printed because the last valid index of the column is 3. Only 4 columns are there. So column index is 3. And in this one we are indicating the fifth column. So this will print a garbage value. No error message will be displayed. A34. Again, as there are only 3 rows, here this indicates the 4th row and this indicates the 5th column. So again this A34 will print a garbage value because last valid column, row and column is 2 and 3. It is responsibility of the programmer to handle the bounds, how many rows are there, and also the columns. Initializing two-dimensional array. Let us see how two-dimensional arrays are initialized. 2D arrays may be initialized by following their declaration with a list of initial values enclosed in braces. So this is the one way to initialize the two-dimensional arrays. So int A 2, 3. So 2 rows, 3 columns. In equals, in curly braces, we write the values, and these values are written row wise. So far in first rows 0, 0, 0, in second row 1, 1, 1, and see that all these values are separated by the comma. The above statement can be equivalently written as, not only this is the only one way to initialize the two-dimensional array, but equivalently this can be written like this one. In curly brackets, we write 2 curly brackets having first row element as well as second row element. So this represent the first row element and this represent the second row element, and these 2 rows are separated again by the comma, with each element in each row are separated by the commas. 2D array can also be initialized in the form of the matrix like this one. So again this is the first row. The same thing, previous thing is written like this one in the form of the matrix. First row, this one is the second row, and first row and second row is separated by the comma, and at the end we put the semicolon. Commas are required after each brace that closes of a row. When array is completely initialized with all values explicitly, size of the first dimension need not be specified. As we saw in the one-dimensional array, that if we explicitly write the all elements of the one-dimensional array, size of the one-dimensional array is optional. So the case in the two-dimensional array, like this one. So here row size is optional. If we explicitly write all the values of the 2D arrays, if the values are missing in the initializer, they are automatically set to 0. What does it mean? That in this one, it is int A23, 2 rows and 3 columns. But while initializing this value in first row, third value is missing. Only two elements are initialized as a 1 1. Third values are missing. So that is automatically set as a 0. That is third value is 0. In the second row, only first element is initialized. It means that second and third elements are set as a 0 0. When all elements are to be initialized to 0, the following shortcut method may be used. In the previous initialization, we initialize some elements as a 0 0, whereas another elements are initialized as a 1 1. Instead, if it is required to initialize all elements to the 0, the following shortcut method can be used, like this one. So this represents the first row element, this represents the second row element, this is the third row elements are initialized to the 0 0 0. The following statement will also achieve the same result, like this one. So even we do not write these three curly braces together, open and close brace, but same thing can be also done using 0 comma 0. This is all the elements of the first row is initialized to the 0, and this is for all the elements of the second row is initialized as a 0. So there are different ways we can initialize elements of two-dimensional array. Now let us consider some example programs. So in first example program, this C program to store elements entered by the user in a 2D array and to display the elements of a two-dimensional array. How the elements of arrays are stored and also how they are displayed in case of the two-dimensional array. So we will discuss an example program that may be written like this one. So we will try to understand this one. So we are familiar with the hash include. Within less than and greater than sign, stdio.h is written. That includes the standard input output.h file containing library functions that we use in our program. So in body of the main function here, we find first statement is int disp23, then semicolon. Using this statement, we declare integer array with 2 rows and 3 columns. So this integer array disp when it stores 2 into the 3, that is 6 integer values. Now we have to initialize these 6 values, and naturally one simple way used to initialize is to use the a looping statement. So for initialize the two-dimensional array, we use the one looping statement nested in another looping statement, because for each row we have to take care of each column elements. So int ij semicolon, this declares the two integer variable that is used for the counter in looping statement, counter variable in the looping statement. So for I equal to 0, I less than 2, I plus plus. So this looping statement is to keep track of the rows number, and depending on the condition, because first value of I is equal to 0, because indexing always starts from the 0. For I equal to 0, condition is true, then body of this for loop is executed, and within this body of the for loop there is another for loop nested. So condition for the first row is true, so all the elements of the first row are going to be initialized. So there are 3 columns. So condition is set as we are familiar, j equal to 0 semicolon j less than 3, because j starts from the 0, first column 1, second column 2, third column. So first time condition is true, that is 0 less than 3. So body of this inner for loop is executed, and in the body printf enter value for this %d %d. So whenever control string %d comes, compiler searches for the variable. So variable values I and 0, I and j, these are the 0 and 0. So enter value for this 0 0, that is first value. So this message is displayed on the output screen, whereby user enter the first value, and that is taken in by the scanf function and is stored as a first element of the array disk 0 0. Then value of j is incremented. Second time also this value is true, that is 1 is less than 3. Then body of this inner for loop is again executed, and this time second value corresponding to second column is taken, entered by the user and taken in by the scanf function and is stored as a disk 0 1. Then again value of j is incremented, and this time value becomes 2, 2 less than 3. Condition is again true. So by executing the body of the inner for loop, third value is taken in and is stored as a 0 2. After this one, whenever value of j is incremented, 3 less than 3 becomes false. So control comes out of this inner for loop, that is after storing 3 column values, 3 element values corresponding to 3 columns are stored, and after that one no statement is there, meaning that row value is incremented, that is I plus plus. Here its value becomes 1. So 1 less than 2, condition is again true. Then again body of the outer for loop is executed, and again using the executing the inner for body of the outer for loop, that is using the inner for loop, we again read 3 integer values and store in the arrays, two-dimensional array. and when value of I is incremented, condition becomes false because 2 less than 2. Condition is false. Control comes out of the outer for loop. So in this way, we stored 6 integer values in two-dimensional arrays, starting from 0, 0 to 1, 2. Now after this one, there is a next statement. Here pseudo statement is written that displaying array elements, and after that one statement is that printf two-dimensional array elements. So this is printed on the output screen, where again using the nesting of the two for loops, we display each element of the two-dimensional array. Let us see for I equal to 0, I less than 2, I plus plus. Again in a similar way, the way we took all the values, we have to display the values. So first time I equal to 0 condition is true, body of the outer for loop is executed and all the data corresponding to each column is displayed, and then next row data are displayed in the next row. For that one, first for displaying the first row data, condition is true. Then when we execute the body of the outer for loop, we have for I equal to 0, 0 less than 3, condition is true. Then body of the inner for loop is executed. In the inner for loop, here we are having first statement printf %d. This ij, value of I is equal to 0, value of j is equal to 0. First row, first column. This value is printed at this point using the 3 column space. Then if j equal to 2, now here j is equal to not equal to 2, first time j equal to 0, condition is false, then body of the if statement is not executed, then value of j is incremented. So this time value becomes 1, 1 less than 3, condition is true. Then body of the inner for loop is again executed, and again we find that using the printf statement, we print the second elements of the two-dimensional array as printf %3d disp 0, 1. Then value of here, if after that one next statement is if j equal to 2. Here j is equal to 1, not equal to 2. So this if statement is skipped off and value of j is incremented. This time value becomes 2. 2 less than 3 condition is true. Then using printf statement, we print the third value of the two-dimensional array in the first row. And after that one, if j equal to 2, here double equal sign. This condition is true. Then body of the if statement is executed, and use of this statement is printf/n, just to bring the cursor in the beginning of the next row. So cursor is brought in the beginning of the next row, and after that one value of I is incremented, and this time this value becomes 1. So when condition is tested, again condition is true, then executing the body of the outer for loop, we again print all 3 values of the second row, and after that one when values of I is incremented, this value becomes 2, then this condition becomes false, then control comes out of the outer for loop, and after that one statement is returned 0 just to tell the program is executed properly to the operating system. So in this way we discussed how the elements of two-dimensional array can be taken in and stored in the two-dimensional array, and in a similar way those elements can be displayed in the tabular form. Now when this program is run, we get the output like this one. So here using enter value for this 0 0 1 is entered, then second is entered, this the third values of the first row, then second row element values are entered, and when we print the elements we print those values in rows and columns that are printed like this one. In the second example, write a program to compute and print a multiplication table for numbers 1 to 5 as shown below. So we have to write a C program using the two-dimensional array to print this multiplication table. So we have to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the first row, and in the second row value is twice. So using this logic, what is the value of the next element? Depending on that one, we have to multiply row with the column. That is here first value, first row and first column. 1 into 1 gives 1. First row second column number, it is 2, then it is 3, like that one. If we take the second row, first column 2 into 1, 2, then second row second column 2 into 2, 4, second row fifth column 2 into 5, that is 10, and last value is fifth row and fifth column is 5 into 5, that is 25. So using this logic we can easily write a C program and print their values. So if example program is written like this one. So define rows 5 rows. Here constant declaration is there. So instead of 5 we use the row constant. Since this is the symbolic constant, that is rows. So values of rows is set as a 5. Similarly values of symbolic constant columns is set as a 5. Then int row column, then product rows multiplied by the columns. Here this is the array, two-dimensional array that has number of rows and number of columns. This gives the dimension of the two-dimensional arrays. So here rows values are 5 and column values are 5. So 5 rows and 5 columns, that is this integer array can store 25 integer values, and we have seen that we have to print the multiplication table. So int ij, naturally whenever we have to deal with the two-dimensional array, two counter variables are needed. So this statement declares two integer variable used for the counter variable used in the looping statement. Then printf, this just printed a line on the output screen, and /n, bring the cursor in the next row, and in the next row multiplication table is printed, /n. Bring the cursor 2 rows below, and again this printf statement prints a line of the dash dash dash, and again /n. Bring the cursor in the next row. Printf. In the double quotation marks, space is there. So space is printed, and then for I equal to 1, j less than or equal to columns j plus plus. Printf %4 dj. So what is printed here? Here value of j is printed, that is in the 4 column space we print the 1, and then printf/n. This bring the cursor in the next row where printf. This statement prints again the line. Just following the multiplication table format, we are writing this statement. Then after printing this line, so using this for looping statement, for I equal to 0, I less than row value is set as a 5. So condition is true. When condition is true, body of this for loop is executed, and in this body of the for loop row equal to I plus 1. So I equal to 0, 0 plus 1, 1 is set and assigned to the row value. Then printf %2d, and whenever this control string comes, value of the variable is printed. What is the row value? That is 1. 1 is printed here, and after that one a vertical line is also printed. And after printing that one, again there is a for loop. For j equal to 0, j less than column value is set as a 5. So 0 is less than 5, condition is true. Body of this inner for loop is executed. So column equal to j plus 1. So j equal to 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, and it is set as a value of column is set as a is assigned as a 1. So product I plus j, ij, that is product value of I is 0 and j is equal to 0. So product 0 0, that is first element of the two-dimensional array, that is multiplication table, row into column. Value of row is equal to 1, 1 into 1, that is 1, 1 is assigned and is stored as a first element of the multiplication table as a 1, and print that multiplication table using 4 column space, and then value of j is incremented, and when value of j is incremented, condition is true again because 1 is less than column. So again body of this inner for loop is executed. This time column equal to 1 plus 1, that is 2. Product 0 and 1, that is second element value, that is second column value in the first row, and this is equal to row into column, that is 1 into 2. 2 is stored as a second element, and using the next statement it is printed using the 4 column space. Product 0 and 1, that is 2 is printed in the second column space. In this way again value of j is incremented. So again body of the for loop is executed as condition is again true. So this condition is true till j is equal to 4. 4 is less than 5. So after that one, printing the fifth column space, fifth element value of the in the first row, when value of j is incremented, condition becomes false because 5 less than columns, that is 5, is false. So control comes out of the inner for loop, and out of the inner for loop there is a printf statement. So this printf statement bring the cursor in the next row, beginning of the next row, and after that one we use the printf statement where, sorry, after printing the this bringing the cursor in the next row, this is the closing brace of the outer for loop. Value of I is incremented. That is, we have to print the second row of the multiplication table. So condition is true. Again, in a similar way, we print all the values of the second row of the multiplication table. So again condition is going to be true till value of I is equal to 4. After printing the fifth column, fifth row value, when value of I is incremented and it becomes 5, then condition becomes false because 5 less than row, that is 5, is false. Then control comes out of the outer for loop, and after that one, we using this printf statement, we print a line of dots, and then cursor is brought, this /n bring the cursor into the next row, and next statement gets ch, that bring the output screen in front of you, and then return statement tells the operating system that program is executed properly. When we run this program, we get the output like this one. So just observing this line, that is, we printed the rows, column line and data in this one. So in this way, using two-dimensional array, we can print a multiplication table. I think whatever we discussed about two-dimensional array, following the one-dimensional array, things are clear to you, and hoping this, we end our class here, and till next period, have a nice day.